and we're officially backstage at Riot Fest. I'm James Van Osdell. Car Con Carne all through Riot Fest, all through the fall, brought to you by Sopel Solar. Now is the time to get in on solar power. Get those panels on your roof. Start saving money the second they're installed, and for nothing out of pocket. Get your consultation now. It's easy to do. It's kind of fun to do online. SopelSolar.com, SOPELSOLAR.com. My friend Brent Sopel, former Chicago Blackhawk, he's going to take care of you. He's going to help you change your life. Basically, take control of your utility bills. Have cost certainty for the first time ever. Welcome to Riot Fest, and thank you, Sopel Solar.
It's Car Con Carne. Let's eat in the car. It's Car Con Carne. And now here's the star of our show, James Van Osdell.
All right, we're backstage at Riot Fest. I'm joined by Wargasm UK, Milky Way, Sam Matlock, here with me today. When I listen to your music to me, especially as we talk about underground music, subcultural music, it should push buttons. That's the whole purpose. That's what Wargasm UK does.
Apparently so. People have buttons and apparently we push them, so.
Well, you know, I think sonically you kind of resist categorization, but here in Chicago, like, we get Wargasm UK. We're a culture.
I would say that the people today got it.
Yeah, I mean, this is a city weaned on industrial music and heavy stuff. Like we get and political and music with attitudes. Songs like Drill Dough. We get this stuff.
I think. I mean, the thing is, loads of people say to us that it can't be categorized, but to us, it's just a lot of 90s and noughties. Like, there's huge elements of the Prodigy, Atari Teenage Riot, was it KMFDM?
Yeah.
You know, there's like, I can definitely distill where every influence came from. It's just a Prodigy if, you know, Britney decided to do a bit and someone went, you know, that should have a little riff that sounds like Dave Mustaine wrote it. You know, the components to me are clear, but maybe that's just something you see when you're inside it.
Well, I think sonically you change directions. Like you take people in a direction they may not have expected. I hear that on Drill Dough.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Do you find it? I just don't think we're that original or that out of the box, personally. It's not a bad thing. I just don't think you have to be original.
I'm glad that people think we do, but I feel like it's kind of just a reflection of the melding part of our brains. So maybe it doesn't seem so original to us, but maybe it's good just as well that people aren't inside our brains and seeing the things that we do.
Some of the rock bands we like Refused, are pretty all over the place with their influences. I think Nirvana, although it's grunge, there's a fucking mountain of different things between Floyd and In Bloom or something, you know what I mean? And then I like bands like Fight Star, which basically sometimes sound like Deftones, sometimes sound like Nirvana, sometimes sound like Bon Iver. Coheed and Cambria have such a vast wealth. Some of it sounds like high school teen movie music, and then the next thing's like this turbo flamenco shredding on the guitar. You know, I think for us, the bands that we listen to are kind of all over the place. So it feels more natural for us just to be all over the place. Does that make sense?
100%. And I like the directions you take us in. Like on Superfiend, everything comes to a stop, and then you tear our heads off as we're listening to it.
I like
praying mantis.
That's exactly what it is.
That's why we done this mixtape EP thing, because something like that it's not concise enough to go on the record on the debut album. But when we finished it, we were like,
people have to hear
that
this.
has to be released and has to be played live, you know.
Well, and you just mentioned Explicit, the mixtape just came out. I mean, as we're sitting here at Riot Fest, that is a brand new
fresh release.
I love that.
Yeah, it was fun. That it was kind of like our. Do you know also another thing? Because we technically we started in 2019. Is that it? Is that right?
We launched in 2019, yeah.
But then we were kind of like a rock band. You know, it was like the Subways if the girl was allowed to sing, basically. And then the lockdown, the pandemic hit, and it kind of forced us into this more electronic, experimental bubble, which is great. So I kind of think Wargasm started in that pandemic for me. And it's just a lot of the bands we like, they took so long developing, and cutting their teeth on the live circuit, and we couldn't do that. So the reason we wanted to do another little drop before we move on to the debut album is just to give ourselves that
Bridge
time to develop.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fucking rush it. You can't just so many people these days are like, I've got written an album, got to get it out, and you're like, why? It's fucking irrelevant to streaming 6 weeks after it's out. Why don't you just hang out, have fun, and develop a bit? No one starts a band to not write songs and not hang out.
Exactly.
Well, they probably do actually, motherfuckers.
So what is the plan for that album?
So I'd say it's about 3/4 done. It's nearly there.
We're just really picky. Milkie said in loads of interviews like last year that it has to be better than or as good as Hybrid Theory.
It's called Manifestation, okay?
And she's kind of set this bar, and I mean, like I'm difficult. Like every 2 months after a song's done, like the demo's like done, and we're like, that's the song, it's done. It's as good as we can get it. 2 months after that, like I love it for that. Then I'm just like 2 months later, I'm like, fuck it, I hate it. So everything goes to the bin. So we kind of have to tread this careful line of it. There's filtering, then there's just binning.
Also, we kind of don't stop touring for long enough to sit down for a prolonged amount of periods or prolonged amount of time to sit and write a lot of songs at a time. You know, like people usually do like a month in the studio. We only get to do a week at a time because of our touring schedule, basically. So it's taking longer than maybe people are ready for or people are used to, but we're getting there. It's nearly done, and it's going to be worth the wait.
Yeah, there's some shit like with the labels, like you need to get like feature artists. What about feature artists these days? And we were like, well, I don't really want to do that. But
It sounds like such a record company thing to
Yeah,
say.
fuck 'em.
TikTok and feature artists. She's like, can you fuck off? We're doing it right on our own. We feature with people. We feature with a band called Enter Shikari. That was awesome. We feature with our friend Kieran,
Defter.
who does his whole fucking thing with that Russian guy. With Gordy.
Gordy.
Bassface, which is great. They just do really good, like really hard electronic rock.
We did our feature with Death Tour,
Death Tour. It's like LA punk. Those guys are really, really
Death
good.
Blooms,
Death Blooms.
Lots of
That's Chaos Metal.
Scottish
Yeah,
Metal.
but we've wait for the record because we've got the features.
The
It's just, it's
feature.
not the ones that they wanted.
It's not the one that the label wanted, but it's
Pretty
one that the
fucking
people
cool.
need.
You know, it's there's a lot of weird things since we started this. I've been in bands for all my life, but since started this one, there's this weird like Wargasm effect where shit happens and you're like, ah, that's
How
not
the
real.
fuck did that happen?
But it did.
Post-orgasmic.
Post-orgasmic, yeah.
Exactly. All right. I love the way you sound. Thank you for doing this. This is the perfect place. Please keep coming back to Chicago.
Oh, thank you. We will.
Thank you. Yeah, it was nice.
If they'll have us.